What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, and today I'm bringing you a gameplay video related to those combos I just showed you guys in my last one. Of course, talking about ABC Cyber Dragon. I have quite a bit of replays to go with you today. I actually really like this deck. I think it's really fun. I want it to be better than it is. It's not. Fortunately, it's not tier 0 or anything like that, but a lot of explosive potential. It's able to fight through hand traps sometimes. I would say your opening hand, you're going to have about 70% consistency. And with that 70% consistency comes with a 40% chance that you'll have extenders to play through multiple forms of interaction. That's why it's not, tier 1 or anything like that. But certainly I think it deserves a rogue nod. I'll just kind of walk you guys through everything. And it feels like those combos I showed you, they all fight through core. And a lot of them do, for sure. But you'll see plenty of duels out here where it's not the case. Like in this case, I didn't have machine duplication or access to overload fusion to use this cybernetic cyber network combo here. But that's perfectly fine. I'm able to set up two forms of disruption off of a less than ideal hand, which I think is pretty good. Both disruptions are online, of course, and I think Infinity and Dragoon are just two obviously Omni negates, which is great. I like to stop people's normal summons. I actually kind of take that risk a lot. Alright, so here's a 7,000 IQ you guys will see in just a moment here. Summon the other B, and I go into Union. And this is a tech that I didn't show you guys before. I did add Dragon, Buster, Destruction Sword. And if you have full combo, I'm going to show you guys a new combo I didn't show you guys yesterday that includes a domain lock, but the end board's a little awkward. You'll see that, but I figured seeing this guy, he's definitely going to want to go into his extra deck, so I'm basically challenging him to summon a monster with 1,500 attack and take me on. After my two negates too, of course, which is pretty cool. I don't know, this card's not banned, but hey, I'm going to work with it as long as it's here. This just looks like it's Armed Dragons. I don't particularly, I'm not interested in Armed Dragons, so anytime I play a deck that I'm not interested in, I always try to, showcase it. Maybe in the future. I just haven't seen anything that one form of interaction, that's kind of their best turnout. It doesn't seem very great, but it's cool that they retrained them, and made them at least a coherent strategy. This, of course, I think is the highest level here. So once per turn quick effect, you can send one card from your hand, so you have to go neg just to destroy a card. And I have lots of forms of interaction that do not require anything of this sort. So let's see where he decides to use it here. Union driver. And in terms of my full combo, I have unauthorized reactivation, so anytime he wants to try to use that, I have the answer. All these are machine monsters, obviously, but he's really holding on to it here. Now he goes to get rid of the Predaplant, but that's fine. I still have plenty of extenders here to get my the rest of my ABCs into the graveyard. I banish that and go in for damage here. Unfortunately, Predaplant Verdant Con is not a machine. If it was, that'd be stupid. I go ahead and switch those out because that means importantly, it's defense too, and I already used the effect of ABC. Then you can use it to link summon and then go into your second ABC. So it's pretty crazy that another one came off the ban list. It definitely makes a difference to me. He gets rid of two of them, but I'm able to add one back to my hand, special summon it, so my defenses are just fine, right? And I do run Kaiju, so I've given up consistency in this deck, or I should say I've increased the deck size, because there's a lot of bricky cards, obviously. You got your Red Eyes engine and stuff like that, so I've added Kaijus and a few other things. That way I just draw into these bricks a little less. As I would take care of his. But that's Armed Dragons. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Because you might not see it again for a while. It's pretty unfortunate that you have to use that first, because otherwise he would banish all those cards right and gain those life points plus the draw. I don't know why he said it. Maybe as a threat. So the thing I love about this deck is its ability to break boards, but also its ability to have different forms of removal. Infinity is able to suck it up, which is pretty unique, and then Dragoon obviously can do a lot of things. Hertz is great because it helps you keep that advantage and always have a card to discard with Galaxy Soldier. I think this is a very similar board. Like I said, I'm able to get rid of that Million Eater quite easily. And also, you don't always have to go into Dragoon, remember. I mean, Chimera Tech is just a fantastic card, you know. And then next turn, I'm setting myself up, right? Because I'm able to dump all the rest of the ABC engine for next turn. Even though he gained all those life points, I mean, the advantage is all mine. I have the Omni Negate. Could have gone to Dragoon for sure, but I felt like with his card advantage, I was perfectly fine. And I can go ahead and negate that. No need for that to come on the field. He only has one card, and I know I'm going to have at least one other form of interaction, right? ABC can go ahead. I can go ahead and use that for Red Eyes. I mean, it's pretty great. And the great thing I banished this, right? Because it's, well, I guess it doesn't really matter too much, but I would add a negate. But still, I mean, this is a beefy board for sure. Here's Black Wings. Black Wings are always, I think they're okay, man. I don't know. It's a great time to be a Blackwing player for sure. I'm sure they use some of this Raid Raptor support that's coming out. I just haven't fully seen it. If I had core, I would have obviously had like more of a full combo, but I'm able to just work with what I got for now. Just dump all those ABC pieces in the graveyard. And this is kind of like the standard setup here, the triple interaction that I think this is a part of the combo. I just did it in a different way. And I usually suck up that Predaplant, give myself a little more attack, and also not leave that 500 attack monster on the field. There's one form of interaction. I decided to make him neg2, and here I'll negate this. I know how important Ystrix is, and all he can do obviously is that. Fortunately for him, he did have that Phantom Knight's Fogblade. I still had the negate, so it doesn't actually matter all that much. So pretty formidable board for sure. Dark Ruler No More obviously kind of dominates it, but who can? I mean, what deck can say that it doesn't? I mean, all combo decks. Looks like I neg here, but I wanted to show you guys this interaction because I don't know. I think I knew it, but I didn't realize it. And I've never done it before because I've never actually played Cyber Dragons before now. But you'll see the Christian thing. So he actually he should have like open field, right? This kaiju. I forgot it wasn't actually the kaiju that you can actually use. But let's see what he does. Let me show you how I can punish this guy like insanely. You should never negate Cyber Emergency, by the way, because you can just use it again. Boom, right there. If you look at the materials for Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, and this is great against Orcus, obviously, it's 1 Cyber Dragon and 1+ machine monsters. Doesn't say where it's supposed to be on your side of the field or not. Christian is all machine monsters, so basically no matter what he does, because I have 2 of these, there's nothing he can do. Now I think I ended up messing around here and kind of messing up my combo when I shouldn't have, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And I think I can go to Predaplant, Vertery, and Anaconda. That's going to search my last one. Galaxy can dump the last piece. Yeah. So, ultimately messed up there. Makes very little difference, right? Yeah, at this point, I think I'm just going to go for a game. And I'm trying to lock him out of the extra deck because I think I already showed you guys interaction. It's always good, and also, obviously, you can go to Chimera Tech. I could have equipped it to Chimera Tech, but really not that important, right? It's cool to have spell and trap removal in the form of a monster and the extra deck monster because it really frees up that space in the main deck. It allows me to use those kaijus with a little more confidence. Obviously, there are trap cards that will like have protection from extra deck and stuff like that, but for the most part, in my experience, it seems to be okay. Here's another 500,000 IQ, and really the message of this duel is that I'm able to get things off the field if I need them one form or another, even if it's a little awkward. Cyber Emergency can grab me a Cyber Dragon, it's fine. It's just a free special summon, right? Extra fodder. I have the machine duplication in my hand, so at this point I can really do whatever I want. I don't know what he has in his back row, so I kind of go early into it, like at the price of negging. So take that for what you will. Hertz is going to grab me the other Cyber Dragon. And obviously, if you guys look at the full combo, I have Constellar. I still can't say the name, but which is pretty cool. Obviously, if you can go into it, Every board's a little unique. I think I tried to go into Union Hanger, but I actually went to Cyber Dragon Seeker. But in this case, it kind of helped out with the attack barrier, and it will actually come up in just a moment as well, which is pretty cool. I know how important that summon is, so I go ahead and bounce it so that way he negs there. He summons another one, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Top deck a core, which is, I guess, isn't great because I could have searched it, but doesn't give me that extender Nostra in my hand. And I can go into Chimera Attack, destroy that back row, which I think ends up being Waking of the Dragons, which is like, okay, give me a break, right? I'm going to make 2 additional attacks here in the battle phase. Although I think when I destroy it, he summons those seeds back, which is really inconvenient for me because I can't be destroyed by battle. And I walk into it. Dude, Cubics are always the deck that I just can't, like, figure out. They do such weird stuff, man. So now I have, basically now my objective, and stupidly I shouldn't have attacked. I should have dumped those ABC pieces so I can summon ABC Dragon to get rid of these. But reading is really hard, obviously. Once again, I think this is the 3rd time I've negated him using that. So it goes to destroy the Constellar, which doesn't have any other thing. So in this case, Seeker does help. It gains that attack. I don't think he realized. He didn't read either. I don't blame him. Going to go ahead and go into Union Hanger. Grab a Buster. Okay, this is also an interaction. This says, when I'm reading it, if it's destroyed, it's sent from the field to the graveyard. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, special summon as many of your banished light machine monsters. That's the field. That's the graveyard. I don't know. It's a weird interaction. I feel like it should work. If there's a will, there is a way. So I get rid of one of his seeds, and he's almost dead. And look at this, 6,000 billion IQ. Normally the effect for the full combo is when I use the effect to search when these 2, but you can actually negate the effects of 2 monsters on the field. And I just need this to be a 3,000 attack monster, and I already used the effect. Pretty cool way to get around that little defensive mechanism he had there. Here's that domain lock I was talking about earlier in the video. So this is a full combo without machine duplication. Or at least I should say a different combo. Go ahead and search one of those pieces. Get my Galaxy. Now I can go into Rampage, destroy it. That'll summon all these back, so I have all these extenders now. I can send the other pieces of the ABC puzzle that I need to. So now I have a full field. I still have the ability to special summon again. That's going to create that domain lock that I was talking about earlier. I can go into Infinity now. And Constellar. So yeah, I mean, the thing is with this board is obviously ABC's offline. You still have 2 forms of interruption, and you also are domain locking your opponent. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys if you were to go somewhere else with it. I think this is fine in my opinion. I think it's a pretty good board, obviously. And being that I'm playing against a Cyber Dragon deck, remember when I just showed you guys that you can go into Fortress, which I'd be really surprised. It looks like he's running really pure, but this guy is actually, he just kind of, I just remember he popped up on my channel. So, yeah, so he was using pure Cyber Dragons. I think pure Cyber Dragons are fine, but I just like the synergy between these two, you know? But obviously, if I wasn't domain locking him, like normally you wouldn't, he would be able to just clear my board immediately, and I would have nothing I could do about it. Except, I guess Constellar would be fine, but still the damage would have been done, right? He actually does pretty well to kind of fight through it, but at this point, I mean, yeah, it's pretty hard to to get around that. Constellar can bounce that back to the hand, and I can go in for lethal. Chimera Attack obviously can attack 3 times, showing off just how good the card is. Looks like I'm playing... this is a duel I wanted to show you how I can play through negates. And Union Hanger is its own play starter, which is actually really nice. There was a time where I actually took Union Hanger out. The effect, it actually doesn't matter, so I just kind of put another one on there. That's an extender. All 3 of the ABCs are now in the graveyard. Has the Ash Blossom. Doesn't really matter. So even through the couple forms of interaction there, I still have 2 forms of interaction. At that point, he's only down to 4 cards. Does have Dark Ruler and more, but he has nothing to kind of extend with it, right? And here, you can telegraph this. It's in his hand, right? He goes into Zodiacs, and this guy actually does really well, like to fight through everything I throw at him. But I just opened up with everything that I possibly need, and so there's nothing really you could have done about it at the end of the day. I should have telegraphed in my mind that he's running an Xyz-based strategy, so he probably has the new card that's coming out of Phantom Rage that sends everything to the graveyard, but in my mind I wasn't thinking about it. There's one form of interaction. I think he kind of fired it off a little too early, in my opinion. Core's going to help me see search. Obviously, he tries to negate that, but again, boom. Doesn't matter. I needed that to go through for the rest of my combo, which is great. Machine Duplication can go through. That helps me go into Union. Union helps me search one of the other last pieces. And my extension keeps going, right? Now I can banish all of those and destroy my cyber network. So he goes into Nibiru here, which is too early. Everything goes away, but the effect still goes through, and I get all 4 of those monsters back, and I can continue going with my combo. And obviously I already invested enough to put all of those in there. And I forgot the effect. I forgot I didn't have a Cyber Dragon in my hand. So look at that. Pretty cool, right? Even through Nibiru, I put up 2 forms of interaction here. I can't really let him get that advantage here. Fortunately, like for me, like Zodiacs are just 1 card, man. It's just so annoying. I used that form of interaction because I was going to go into Link Summoning for the next turn, but he does go into, you'll see in just a moment. I don't really know. I tried using Zodiacs once too, but yep, he goes into the, I don't know what they're calling it. Nigalgulia AA Zeus is coming out in Phantom Rage, but I have 2 ABCs, and I think he realized that I can't use the effect of his monster anymore, and basically all of his resources were exhausted from the extra deck, unless he was going to top deck like Pot of Avarice or something. Nope, it was going to be a Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, so RIP and peace to you. Pretty cool. I'm going to show you guys a couple of competitive. It's not really too competitive. I mean, Solemn Grates, are doing its thing. Basically rogue, but still, there is able to put up plenty of forms of interaction here. Draws into the Ash Blossom as well. Has the Lancia, which is normally good against a lot of decks. But Cyber Dragons are like Salamangreat's worst enemy because it's able to take their traps offline really easily. And you'll see that here. Mega Fleet. So he goes to destroy the Mega Fleet super early. Surprise, man. Like, wow, it's crazy. He resets it, but he can't use it again this turn, obviously. And he has no Link monsters on the field. So then he goes to Ash Blossom me. That's 2 forms of interaction there. Still able to fight through. Would have been great, obviously, to be able to get that core search. But he does have all his back row. It's kind of insane how good Balinx is. It's able to protect spells and traps, too, which is just crazy. But at this point, I've broken his board. And basically, he has to top deck something, and it ends up being an Effect Veiler, which isn't enough. Pretty decent. Here's Sunvine. So I also want to show you guys the new archetype. I think it stinks. From what I remember in Vrain, so I watched the full Vrain series. Like, that guy who played this deck was really good. He was able to make like extra links. So maybe there'll be more support in the future. But it's a very like battle phase based deck, which is like really bad. They basically can't do anything going first. I know this guy is like splashing Aromages in there, which is interesting. But he's able to put up everything that he wants to, and I'm just like, okay, what did you really accomplish here? This card, obviously, like, this is like the main engine. It seems like it's an OTK deck. So I don't know why he opted to go first, to be honest with you. But I'm able to get rid of his Link 3, like, really easily. Again, this is another deck that's not great with that. Cyberload, I can banish all of those. I can destroy his trap as well, right? Not just mine. I'm able to accomplish advantage and also destroy his spells and drafts, which is pretty insane. Union can equip. That's going to help him. It's going to help me get another piece of the ABC engine. Although it would let me use the effect. Maybe, I don't know how I messed that up. Not that important. If I didn't dump that Buster Blade, obviously he would have been really stuck. But at this point, all I have to do is just kind of use him at a choke point because he doesn't have anything threatening on the field. It's going to be right there, and he goes ahead and concedes. So I guess it's a little sneak peek of what Son of Lon can do. Oop, I think I... Oops, excuse me. I think I like end up just like domain locking this guy. So he's playing Luna Lights. Or Light Swords, excuse me. I don't know why I said Luna Lights. Core, go ahead and search. I obviously have Overload Fusion in my hand with the extender. Can banish all three of those. You guys know the interaction. Let's see where I decide to go with this. Can dump those ABC cards there. Domain lock, ABC. Accept this for what you will. I could have gone into Infinity, obviously, and stuff. I would have had that option, but using extra deck is really important to a lot of people. So I think it's a pretty decent strategy. Also, it increases Chimera Tech to 3,000, which is pretty good too. Just a couple more duels for you guys. Looks like he's running a Guard Dragon like Blue Eyes, but it's not great. I've actually dumped Cybernetic Overflow from the deck profile. It's a little too slow, in my opinion. I'd rather have a Kaiju as a form of removal. So he goes into an Infinity of his own. I thought he was going to go into Krishan Needle Fiber here, but he does not. He's got a lot of big monsters. Only one form of interaction, though. And I can go ahead and chain Unauthorized. That's going to help me be unaffected by monster effects. My effect goes through. And since he has Cyber Dragon on the field, I can go into Mega Fleet, which is pretty disgusting. Felt kind of bad. The guy was getting pretty upset. I had all the answers for him here. I can bring back another monster. Infinity's going to help me suck up his Blue Eyes so he doesn't have access to it. Union Driver can help me get all the pieces that I don't have, as well as give me extenders. ABC's gonna hit the field that hits Red Eyes. So that all of that going second, right? And the guy is kind of done with me from there. And the last thing I'll show you guys right here is an Eldritch match I did. So I guess this is a competitive, quote unquote, competitive match. I didn't even draw very well, to be honest with you, because I would have searched the trap card, but I didn't have an extender in my hand, so I kind of had to use an alternative route. And all my Kaijus are light, actually, so I do that on purpose. Normally you would run a Game of Seal because it has the least amount of attack. And I'm able to dump those ABC cards in there. Predator Plant Verde Anaconda, obviously. And that's kind of had a smart way to get this Cyber Dragon to my hand, you know. So now that I know I'm playing Eldritch, I know that as long as he doesn't have access to the Golden Boy, I'm good. I've learned that as I've played, you know. That again, he's trying to get to Eldritch. I'm able to negate. I know he doesn't have anything in his hand. And I'm going to suck that way. I at least have one form of interaction online. So I just need to make sure I use it at a pivotal point here. This is a negate, but he doesn't have access to Eldritch. So I know I know that's going to be one, and he has two, so it's important for me to negate that. There's one. I don't know what else he has. I'm going to go ahead and negate that as well. And go in for lethal, because you can only activate one Scarlet Sanguine per turn. So we went into game 2, and this time I am going second. Let's see what I can do. Going second against Eldritch. No forms of interaction. He has 2 hand traps. Doesn't look great for me. Normally this is a great setup. So it looks like this is a pure build. So he's got... Let's see. He's going to have access to another. This is a pop, and this is obviously a negate. Joel and Lockbirds me, and that's pretty bad against a lot of decks. He pops the Union Hanger, and that's a mistake, man. That's not the card you should have gone for. I had 2 of them, so I might as well keep the extenders going. I know he has to have his Eldritch. I went to negate that. He had the effect failure as the answer, but at that point he's just burning through all his resources. and I'm not too concerned about it, especially when I can go to something like Predaplant Veronian Anaconda once again, use it, pop his Eldritches. I can't pop this one because it can't be destroyed, but I know the effect doesn't last until the next turn at this point. And I know at that point I have 2 disruptions. I can use 1 this turn. That effect goes away after the effect Veiler. I can just go ahead and negate that. He only has 1 card left in hand. Destroys the player plant, goes for Red Eyes Fusion. Nah, man. I got you good. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a long-winded video, but pretty diverse. I tried to show you a lot of different things. I featured a few decks I never had before. Really like this deck. I'm thinking about buying the cards. I have a lot of them, like almost the majority of them, so I really just have to buy the ABC engine. If I don't, and I decide like usual, I'll just kind of show it from this, but we'll see. I'm a big fan of this. In terms of other news for my channel, obviously, I'm thinking about... I'll be doing the Egyptian God Shadal one like pretty soon, for the most part, and I'll have a Fresh Start Friday showing off some new stuff with you guys too. Other than that, guys, hope you have an absolutely wonderful night, and I'll see you next time.